The forgotten moon in astrology. The moon governs all kinds of rhythms in nature and impacts our physical and psychological lives in a way that no other planet does. Despite this, the moon is often overlooked in conventional astrology and receives no more attention than planets like Jupiter or Mars. And descriptions of the moon are often difficult to distinguish from those of the sun. For instance, the descriptions of the moon in Virgo closely resemble the descriptions of the sun in Virgo. All of this is very unfortunate because the moon in our birth chart can serve as an effective instrument for personal and spiritual growth, and, as is often the aspiration within the awakening movement, to raise our frequency. So why is the moon not getting more attention in conventional astrology? One reason may be that the moon governs our emotions, instinctive reactions, and self-esteem, all of them incredibly difficult to describe. How do you explain an emotion, or what self-esteem truly is? Another reason may be that conventional astrology is largely occupied with describing aspects between planets. For example, if there were 30, 90, or 180 degrees between planets in the sky when you were born. But what is there to learn from the moon in our birth chart? As mentioned, the moon governs our emotions, our instinctive reactions, and self-esteem. These are all parts of ourselves that develop before our personality could fully bloom. Normally, as grown-ups, we primarily express the energy of the sun and the ascendant, as well as the other points in the Sunring, namely medium Chile, the descendant, and imum Chile. But when we were children, the moon was more prominent in our personality. As we grew up and learned to control our emotions, the moon took a backseat, not always visible on the surface. As grown-ups, the moon often makes its presence felt during intense emotional states, not least when we are with those closest to us, in quarrels and arguments. Then suddenly this part of our personality that we are not much consciously aware of emerges, and we start to behave in a very childish manner. Afterwards, we may wonder at our reactions and perhaps feel a bit embarrassed. Or perhaps we continue to ride on the emotional wave of the moon and defend our behavior to ourselves. Others may be surprised at our reactions, especially if this happens at work. Our colleagues may think that we have transformed into another person and are shocked by whatever it is that erupts, be it anger, worry, tears, or a know-it-all attitude. It is easy to get stuck in a childish moon state and never develop from it, and to continue to find reason to legitimate our behavior. As everything is so emotionally charged, it is difficult to find a reasonable angle and intellectual way of studying ourselves. It is here that the moon represents such a powerful instrument for growth. By learning about the energy of the moon in our birth chart, we can look at ourselves from a neutral position. We can study the energy of our emotions and what they represent and why we behave in the way we do. Of course, our behavior will also be influenced by the other parts of our birth chart, such as the energy of the sun and the ascendant, but the very charged emotional states that sometimes emerge will be much easier to understand. After all, you're just expressing an energy that is a prominent part of you, and an energy can be expressed both in a negative and a positive way. In arguments with family members, the energy of the moon is often expressed in a negative way. But energy is just energy, so we don't have to judge ourselves. We can just try and use our innate potential in the best possible way, and have empathy with ourselves when it doesn't work out. To begin the study of your moon, you must first find the placement of the moon at your birth, or more precisely, which zodiac sign the moon occupied at the time of your birth. To do that, you can use an online astrology calculator, such as Astrology, or Cafe Astrology. As we explain in many of our other videos, a zodiac sign is not a group of stars, but a certain zone in the vast electromagnetic field that surrounds us. The moon's emotional energy will be modified by the zodiac sign it occupies, equipping you with a unique set of emotional and instinctive characteristics. In this example, the moon occupies the zodiac sign of Libra. To understand what that means, we need to find out about the energy of Libra. The zodiac signs all have a complex set of energies that can be described as archetypical. They will therefore never exactly describe a living human, but rather give us an idea of its unique energy. Remember that when you read about zodiac signs, you read about them as if the sun or the ascendant occupied the zodiac sign and not the moon. You will have to do some intellectual stretching to think about how that energy would express itself on an emotional level rather than as a personality trait. For example, when you read about Libra, you will understand that it is an air sign, like Gemini and Aquarius. Air signs are intellectual in nature. With the moon in an air sign, the person will perhaps not be perceived as very emotionally engaged, or perhaps even distant in arguments and quarrels with close ones. You can learn about the zodiac signs on our website, where we describe the energy of each sign and not only personality traits. To make everything easy for you, we have also created a moon guide, which you can find in the guide section on our website. It is worth repeating that learning about your moon is a very effective way of stepping out of your own emotional drama and see the world with a more neutral eye. It helps you improve your self-empathy and empathy with others. It is a fast track to become a better person and raising your frequency.